Taiwan level or global level, have committed to achieving net zero with 100% renewable energy sources or similar. This is a contributing factor to why 71% of our member companies are concerned about the supply of energy and the electrical grid and resilience of the grid here in Taiwan. In other efforts related to ESG, companies are continuously improving their diversity, equity, and inclusion here in Taiwan, and are invested in health and safety, as well as strengthened corporate governance, fairness, and accountability. For some years now, the American Chamber of Commerce has advocated a more transparent, process-driven regulatory regime for Taiwan. Our members do share a positive outlook, as we cited, for the economy, but one area which remains a concern is the pace of regulatory transparency and regulatory improvement. When we look at our laws and regulations in Taiwan, our members believe that often the regulations and laws do not adequately meet social and economic needs. When asked what our member companies feel to be the most important area for improvement in Taiwan's business relations in Taiwan, this process of engaging stakeholders, engaging the public in the creation of well-informed regulations is known as good regulatory practice, and it is something our members care deeply about. We would like to see this particular area strengthened, and we have high expectations that the 21st Century Initiative on Trade signed last year, in the first half of last year, will further enhance Taiwan's efforts in this area. We hope that Taiwan will continue to go beyond the basic requirement for notice and comment, and will emerge as a regional or global leader in the area of regulatory transparency. As you all may know, today our business climate survey marks an important milestone at the beginning of the year. Later this year, in June, we will be releasing our white paper. Our white paper, every year, takes about 25 industry committees' recommendations on more than 100 areas that they have identified for improvement. We work closely with Taiwan's government to address those areas. Now, we hold meetings with the National Development Council to track and facilitate progress on these white paper issues in the Chamber's annual white paper. This year, our members reported declining satisfaction with the results of these meetings with Taiwan's National Development Council. So you can see that if we look at the progression over the last few years, there is a declining rate of satisfaction with them, standing now at some satisfaction or more of 76%. Challenges facing Taiwan. There is no market, no place which is without challenges, and for Taiwan, a prominent challenge remains its international standing. When we asked about what factors deter their companies from expanding or investing in Taiwan, fewer people mentioned geopolitical uncertainty compared with last year. This dropped by almost 20 percentage points versus last year. So while they see geopolitics as a risk, it is not so much of a deterrence. The second leading deterrent was bureaucracy. This too dropped by over 20 percentage points, 21 percentage points versus last year. So these are signs that our members are seeing progress and seeing stability in areas that are of great concern when it comes to expanding investment here in Taiwan. As members of Taiwan's most influential leading Chamber of Commerce and business organization for the international community, AmCham companies place great importance on Taiwan's trade relations, particularly with the United States. If we look firstly at the increasing rivalry between the United States and China, 34% have actually seen some economic benefit or economically positive impact from this rivalry. This is a 10 percentage point increase versus last year. Most companies reported that they have experienced at least some impact from this rivalry. Efforts to redirect and diversify supply chains seem to have had an effect on AmCham member companies and a positive effect on Taiwan. About 22% of our member companies said that they had relocated business from China in the past 5 years. And nearly 70% of those had included Taiwan among their relocation plans. The most represented group was the ICT industry. When we talk about further developing the trade relationship with the United States, a bilateral trade agreement has remained and is our members' highest desire. A majority of our respondents think it's important for Taiwan and the United States to sign a bilateral trade agreement, and this has been something the Chamber has advocated for as parts of global coalitions for many years. 72% believe that a bilateral trade agreement with the United States is important. We also know that about 64% of our members believe that the 21st Century Agreement and the agreement on double taxation with the United States, which has been making progress recently in the US Congress, are very important to our future here in Taiwan and are advocating to see that happen with due urgency. When we talk about the US-Taiwan Trade Initiative for the 21st century, about half of our respondents believe that it's important. And within the 11 or 12 chapters, actually 12 now chapters of the 21st Century Agreement, 58% cited good regulatory practice as the most important area for their business in the future. Others were trade facilitation and digital trade. So we can see once again that good regulatory practice, even of the rulemaking process, remains a very important area to highlight in this year's survey. Naturally, we also surveyed our members on their sentiments regarding the political and trade relationship across the Taiwan Strait. When asked what the government should prioritize in the next 3 years, a majority said the cross-strait relationship. This year, 59% reported that their company had not been significantly disrupted by tension across the Taiwan Strait. So this is for 2023. The top 3 areas among those who did find some level of disruption were concerns expressed by corporate headquarters, staff anxiety, and reduced business from China. When we look ahead to 2024, only 31% of companies anticipate being disrupted at any level by the cross-strait relationship. So we come to the key takeaway that we bring away from this year's survey. Our members remain committed to and confident in the Taiwan market with optimism about the future prospects of the economy and their own company's growth over the coming 1 and 3 years. In fact, our members would invest even more in Taiwan if some of the trade barriers and red tape were removed. While there are certain challenges to doing business in Taiwan, these can be overcome. And AmCham will continue to facilitate discussions between the government and industry to solve them. We also see high value in investing in the people living and working here and making efforts to ensure that future generations can enjoy clean air, safe roads, plentiful job opportunities, and sustained prosperity. We, as a chamber, look forward to collaborating with the government and and other stakeholders to improve the business environment for all. With that, we have a QR code which you may use to download a digital copy of our survey results.